UFC 328, Sean Strickland versus KHAMZAT CHIMAEV is this weekend, guys. And I'm back. James Keller MMA, we're back predicting the full card, and I'm hyped, guys. I'm hyped! Can't remember this. I can't remember the last time I've been this excited to watch a UFC card. And not only watch a UFC card, watch the build-up. The build-up has already been insane. Sean and Hamza have already been going at it. And I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't wait to see where this leads to. Hopefully there's a crazy press conference. I definitely think there's going to be. I don't even know where this bad blood even started. Like Hamza and Sean, they trained together, some time ago. We all remember that.
Understand, you're better than most. You're better than everybody. So just don't hurt people.
And then since then, I guess they just started beefing. They just started beefing. It's escalated from there. Sean has taken it as far as he can. Hamzat is, if he sees him, he's gonna try and hurt him. So this is crazy. This is awesome. I'm excited though. And guys, before we get into the full card prediction breakdown, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you. We hit 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. Holy smokes, guys. Shout out to all the James Keller MMA maniacs out there. Shout out to all you guys out there. Seriously, I seriously appreciate it. 1,000 subscribers is a big, big deal. That was actually my goal. That was my goal by the end of the year. I started this channel at the beginning of the year. That was my goal by the end of the year. And we already hit it. So we're changing the goal now. The new goal is now 10,000 subscribers. Let's go, though. The first 1,000, bro, you guys are the ones that really mean the most. I really appreciate all you. I might make a full, 1,000 subscriber special video. Maybe I'll get all oiled up or something. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys would like to see that. But, okay, enough of that, guys. UFC 328, full card breakdown, starting with the first fight, working all the way to the main event. With the first fight of the night, guys, we got Clayton Carpenter versus Josh Ochoa. Now, Clayton Carpenter, Josh Ochoa, this is a kind of a close fight. Clayton Carpenter is known for his elite grappling. He has very, very good grappling, decent ground and pound game. Very, very good wrestler. Josh Ochoa, he's kind of a well-rounded fighter. He's known for his striking, has decent grappling. In his last fight against Isu Alvarez, he got controlled the majority of that fight on the ground. That's the only reason I'm kind of nervous picking him in this fight against Clayton Carpenter. Clayton Carpenter is a great grappler, like I said. And I don't know. Jose Ochoa, though, I see him stuffing the takedowns. I see him getting back to his feet. And if this fight is on the feet, which I see it being, stuffing the takedowns, if he does get taken down, I see him getting back up, keeping this fight on the feet, landing clean shots. I just think he's going to be better. He is better on the feet. I think that he's going to hurt Clayton Carpenter. Maybe Clayton Carpenter could, scrape by a majority control time decision. I don't think Clayton Carpenter is on the same level as Susurkaev, though. I don't think they're on the same level. And in that fight, Jose Ochoa, he did get controlled for majority of it, but he showed some promise. He showed some promise in that fight. I think that he'll do better in there against Clayton Carpenter. I don't think he'll get controlled for as long as he did. I don't think that he'll get controlled for, he might get taken down. He might get controlled in this fight, but I think that majority of this fight will be on the feet, and Jose Ochoa will land big shots, hurting Clayton Carpenter. I'm taking him by decision just because, I'm not banking on a finish, but yeah, Jose Ochoa by decision. Guys, next fight on the card, we got Baisangur Susurkaev versus Djorden Santos. Now, Baisangur Susurkaev, this is KHAMZAT CHIMAEV's teammate. This is the guy that, his friends with KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. We all know him. And, he's 11-0. He is good. He is a decent striker. He throws a lot of weird, not weird, but kind of, flashy. He throws a lot of flashy strikes in there, a lot of spinning stuff. He's good, though. He's good on the feet. And Djorden Santos, he's not terrible. He's not terrible, but he's not the best. He's not the best. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He doesn't really have, I don't think he has anything to threaten Susurkaev in this fight. I don't think his grappling is that elite. I don't think his stand-up's that elite. And I think Susurkaev is just going to pick him apart, land good kicks, land good strikes. I think they're trying to get him a win. on his buddy Khamzat Chimaev's card, which, no shame in that. But yeah, Susurkaev should win this fight easily. If he does get taken down, I think that he might get taken down, but I think he will get back up easily. And Susurkaev, he's 11-0. He hasn't really shown much in his first 2 fights in the UFC. He has finished both those fights, but he hasn't shown that he's that elite. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't shown that. He did finish his last fight in very, very impressive fashion. But what I'm trying to say is that he can get tested. He can get tested. I don't think Djorden Santos is the guy to do that. I think they're giving him a layup fight here. But yeah, I'm taking Susurkaev by round 2 TKO, maybe round 1 TKO. I think he finishes this fight, and if not, I think that he should win a unanimous decision. This is an easy fight for our boy, though. Shout out to Susurkaev. Next fight on the card, we got Pat Sabatini versus William Gomis. Now, this fight is going to be a close one. I see it being a close one just because I'm taking Pat Sabatini by unanimous decision. I think that he'll use his grappling, take William Gomis down. He might even find a submission, in round 1 or round 2. I'm not banking on that, though. I'm taking him by decision. But William Gomis is a very technical kickboxer. Now, in Gomis's fight against Haider Emil, he did show that, he can get caught on the feet. I don't think this fight will be majority on the feet, though. I think Pat Sabatini will go in there, use his judo, get a takedown, and control Gomis on the ground. Maybe even, hunt for a submission. I see this fight being a dominant Pat Sabatini win. Pat is on that older side for MMA. He is 21-5, a great record. His last loss was Diego Lopez. We all remember that fight. But since then, he's bounced back with 3 wins. And not only that, he's competed a lot in grappling tournaments as well. So this dude is a very, very elite grappler. I see him using his grappling to win this fight, control this fight, dictate where it goes. Even if he doesn't get a first round or second round submission, I think he'll still just use his grappling to hold William Gomis on the ground and pound him, just get dominant position and ride the fight out from there. I'm taking Pat Sabatini by unanimous decision. Coming on to our next fight, guys, we got Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio. Now, Marco Tulio and Roman Kopylov, this is going to be a scrap, guys. This is going to be a scrap. A lot of people are taking Marco Tulio in this fight. This is going to be a stand-up war, I see it being, but I'm taking Roman Kopylov. Marco Tulio is coming off of that bad knockout loss to Christian Leroy Duncan. That's, it happens. You get caught. But I think that Roman Kopylov is going to be cleaner on the feet. He's going to be cleaner. Roman's got that very, very elite kickboxing background. We know him for his great kicks, great striking, great hands. Very, very elite head kicks. He has that one head kick over Claudio Ribeiro where he just, boom, flattened him. And he has that one, last second finish over Chris Curtis. That was a great finish. But yeah, Roman Kopylov is very, very clean on the feet. The only losses that he's had has been to the most elite level middleweights. He lost to Anthony Hernandez, lost to Paulo Costa, but I think in this fight against Marco Tulio, I think that he's going to style on him. I don't think that he's going to look that good, but I think that he's going to be just way cleaner on the feet. Marco Tulio in that fight against CLD, shown that he can get hit, man. He can get hit. Roman, I think, will be a little bit more cautious than Marco Tulio, and I see Roman Kopylov winning this fight. Do I see him finishing it? Maybe. I might put round 2 finish Roman Kopylov, round 2 TKO, just because I see this fight being a scrap. I see it being a scrap, and I see Marco Tulio getting caught. And I see Roman Kopylov walking away with the W. Okay, guys, coming on to our next fight, Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. This picture of Jared Gordon. Wow. Okay, so Jim Miller's coming in there. 38-19. Honestly, skill for skill, I think Jim Miller competes with Jared Gordon, but at this point in his career, man, Jim Miller's done. Jim Miller's too old to compete in there. He's just so slow compared to these lightweights, and that fight against Bobby Green really, really showed that, and he got a lot of damage in that fight. took a lot of damage in that fight. And Jared Gordon has good boxing. He's got really, really good boxing. Underrated hands of Jared Gordon. People forget, man. Jared Gordon put those hands on Paddy Pimblett. But yeah, Jared Gordon has amazing boxing. He has really, really clean hands, crisp combos, and I see Jared Gordon going in there and just being better on the feet, man. Being better on the feet, being a little bit better everywhere, being a little bit quicker. I think that Jim Miller's just past this point in his career where he can, his body's just walking away from him, man. His body's just leaving him in the dust. And, it's sad to see. It's sad to see Jim Miller at this point in his career. But, yeah, Jared Gordon versus Jim Miller, banger fight. Give me Jared Gordon by unanimous decision. I think that fight's going to a decision 100%. All right, guys, coming on to our next fight, we got Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Now, this fight is... I'm going with Mateusz Rebecki. I think that he is going to hurt our boy Grant Dawson on the feet. Grant Dawson does have a very, very good grappling game. That's his game plan. He goes in there, looks for the takedown, looks to hold you there, looks for submissions. And I don't think Rebecki's going to let that happen. I don't think he's going to let that happen at all. He's going to stuff the takedowns and hurt him bad on the feet. Now, I know that Mateusz Rebecki is on a 2-fight losing streak. He's coming off that loss to Ludovic Klein, and before that, who did he lose to? He lost to Chris Duncan. And before that, though, he got that win against Matubek Orblai, which is an amazing win. But even in that win, he took a lot of damage. His last 4 fights, he's taken a lot of damage, like more damage that you really want to see a fighter take. And that it's not good for your fighting career to take that much damage consecutively in 4 bouts. We all remember the Orblai fight. That fight was an absolute war, and before that, he got TKO'd. So yeah, this dude Rebecki's been through the ringer, and that's the only worry I have for this fight. But really, when I say that, like that being my only worry, I don't think Grant Dawson's gonna, put our boy Rebecki in any danger. I don't think he's going to put hands on him. He's not going to hurt him. He might take him down, but I think Rebecki's shown that, even in that fight against Orblai, he's got really, really good, defensive wrestling, defensive grappling. He knows how to get back up. Very, very strong for lightweight. And Grant Dawson, I'm just not too high on him. He is 23-3. He is a decent lightweight, but man, I've never been too high on Grant Dawson. Our boy Bobby Green knocked him out with the first punch he threw. We all remember that fight. I don't see that being a similar situation against Rebecki, but I think Rebecki's going to hurt him. I think he's going to hurt him on the feet. I think he's going to put him away. Give me Mateusz Rebecki by round 2 TKO. I think he stuffs the takedown, hurts him in the first round, and by the second round, he puts him away. That's my prediction. Hammer it. Okay, guys, now this fight is going to be the fight of the night, 100%. Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov. Now, guys, Joel Alvarez, we all know Joel Alvarez. An absolute dog. Very, very elite grappling. Very, very elite submission game. And decent on the feet. Decent striker. His last loss, remember that loss to Arman Sarukian? That was a brutal loss. But since then, he's bounced back with 3 more wins. 3 great wins. And his opponent, Yaroslav Amosov. Oh my gosh, man. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, bro. This dude's one of them ones. Came into the UFC 28-1. Former Bellator champ, came into the UFC 28-1. First fight fought Neil Magny and subbed him easily. Now, I know what you guys are saying, it's Neil Magny, but Neil Magny is very elite, guys. Neil Magny is very, very elite. And to do that to Neil Magny, I rate Yaroslav very highly. He's a very, very elite grappler. I think that in this fight, the way I see it happening is Joel Alvarez is going to go in there and start on the feet, of course, but look for takedowns, and Yaroslav's going to stop the takedowns, maybe reverse him. And because the grappling, the offensive wrestling game of Yaroslav is second to none, guys. You got to see this dude grapple. He's a very, very high-level elite grappler. Might be top 5 in the welterweight division, and he's not even ranked yet. And Joel Alvarez, No slouch in the grappling at all. This is going to be a great fight, but I see when two grapplers are very, very good, I see it, usually what happens is they stand and bang, and the grappling gets negated. Neither of them grapple, which I see them grappling early on, but then after Yaroslav defends the takedown, stops the grappling, I see them fighting on the feet, and I see Yaroslav hurting him. I see him cracking Joel Alvarez. In that fight against Arman Tsarukyan, he got hurt bad. He got put away in that fight. And Yaroslav is just like his grappling, he's got very, very good striking as well. Very, very good striking. I see Yaroslav styling on Joel Alvarez. Now, this fight is going to be a war. I think it's going to be a dogfight, fight of the night for a reason. Joel Alvarez could scrape by and get a decision, but I think it's going to be a very, very tough task for him. I think Yaroslav is a bona fide contender. I think both these guys could be bona fide contenders in the welterweight division. But Joel Alvarez, I think he's matched up against a tough test. I think it's matched up against a very, very tough test. And Yaroslav, I think, is going to not have any issues in this fight. I think he's going to stop the grappling of Joel Alvarez, keep it on the feet, and hurt him. And eventually find that maybe second round TKO. That's what I'm taking. Yaroslav by second round TKO. Coming on to our next fight, the last fight on the prelims. Ateba Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz. Now, we all know Ateba Gautier. Looking at his picture here on the UFC, like, holy, look at this dude. This dude is the Francis Ngannou of the middleweight division. This dude is from Cameroon. Hits like a truck. Very, very strong. Possibly the strongest middleweight we've ever seen. And in the UFC, I think this is his 5th fight in the UFC. He's been consistently matched up with terrible competition. Bums. He's been matched up with straight up cans. Each one of his fights has been, we're not seeing a step up in competition. And Ozzy Diaz, come on, guys. Ozzy Diaz is not that step up. Ozzy is, he's coming off a win, but he's 1-1 in the UFC. And this fight is like the last fight. I was talking about how the last fight's an uphill battle. This is a little more of an uphill battle for our boy Ozzy Diaz. Climbing the mountain of Ateba Gautier, getting the win is going to be tough. I see Ateba knocking this one out of the park. Getting an easy first round knockout. I don't know what the UFC is doing. I really want to see our boy Ateba Gautier get matched up with somebody higher up on the welterweight rankings. Not ranked, but maybe, outside of the rankings, or somebody with a little bit of proven skill, so we can see how Ateba matches up, to see if he can match up with those elite level, higher level middleweights. And, even if he loses, we'll see that, okay, there's some things that he needs to work on. He's still young. He's only 10-1 in his career. In his last fight, he went to a decision. He showed that if he doesn't get that first round knockout, he can show some weaknesses. And I want to see what happens if he fights a tougher level guy. If he goes out there and knocks out Ozzy Diaz, like, please give him a step up. Don't keep matching up with bums. But yeah, this is an easy fight for our boy Ateba Gautier. I think he's like a minus 1,000 favorite. Like, yeah, the UFC is giving him a layup, which I get. They want to promote this guy. They want to give him a slow rise to the top, which is smart. But at the same time, you got to give him a step up. You got to give him somebody with a little bit of skill. After this fight, I think that's what they're going to do. But yeah, I'm taking Ateba Gautier, round 1 TKO or knockout, easy. Okay, coming on to our next fight. The first fight on the main card, Bobby Green versus Jeremy Stephens. And I'm a Jeremy Stephens fan. It's hard to say that, knowing Jeremy Stephens' record, 28-20. Watching this dude fight, this is his second run in the UFC, either second or third run in the UFC. He was kicked out and then fought bare knuckle and then came back and has had a couple losses since then. He had that loss to Mason Jones, which he didn't look terrible in that fight, but yeah, Jeremy Stephens just looked bad since his second coming in the UFC, his comeback. And Bobby Green, I think Bobby Green's going to style on him. Bobby Green excels in these kind of matchups. Coming off that win to Daniel Zellhuber, which is just an amazing win for Bobby Green. Now, Bobby Green's good, man. He's good. He's decent. His one weakness is his striking defense and his chin. And Jeremy Stephens does hit hard, man. Jeremy Stephens is the hardest hitting 145er. When he knocks people out, they don't move. They don't move. And Bobby Green has been knocked out brutally a couple of times. That Jalen Turner knockout, the Rufy knockout. It's been a couple times. But I think the momentum that Bobby Green has versus the momentum that Jeremy Stephens has, like, Jeremy Stephens is... He's definitely 1 or 2 fights away from retirement. And I think Bobby Green's got at least 3 or 4 left in him. 3 or 4 left in him. I think Bobby Green's going to style on Jeremy Stephens, land big shots on the feet. This is going to be a boxing fight in MMA. And Bobby's going to just be a lot faster. Maybe Jeremy Stephens can land a big old knockout shot on Bobby Green. Jeremy does still have power in his hands. That's the last thing to leave you when you're an old man. And Bobby Green's got not the best chin. But I think Bobby Green's just going to be a little bit too fast for him. A little bit too fast, a little bit too clean on the feet. Tag him up. Maybe even find the finish. Because Bobby Green's good, man. And he's got power. He's got speed. He is 34-17, but he's been fighting the best lightweights his entire career, And I think Bobby Green's going to excel in this matchup. I think this is going to be a great matchup for him. I see him getting the round 2 TKO. I'm taking a lot of round 2 TKOs. But that's just what I see happening, guys. Don't freaking hate on the method. All right. Coming on to our next fight, Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, you guys might be hating on this pick. I'm taking the buck. I'm taking Joaquin Buckley. Now, I know Joaquin Buckley is probably top 3 cringiest fighters in the UFC at the moment. As soon as this dude gets on the mic, prepare to cringe. That Conor McGregor call out, that's what's running through my mind right now. But yeah, this dude's very cringy. And Sean Brady, I'm a big fan of Sean Brady. He's got some dope tattoos. Great grappler. He's, coming off that Michael Morales loss, which, man, I feel bad for him. Because before that, he was on a run, man. He was on a run, subbed Leon Edwards, amazing finish with that, mounted one-arm guillotine. And before that, he was just on a run, man. He was on a run. His only loss before Michael Morales was to Belal Muhammad, which, man, those 2 fights, Michael Morales and Belal Muhammad, he really just got kind of, when they stopped the wrestling, when they stopped his forward pressure, he kind of crumbled. And especially, not more saying the Michael Morales fight, because Michael Morales is a different case, but the Belal Muhammad fight, he kind of gave up. As soon as things started not going his way, he kind of saw that exit, man. He saw that exit. And Belal Muhammad didn't even throw any strikes that started to hurt him. Yeah, he was hurting him on the feet, but he wasn't putting him away. He was just tagging him, and Sean Brady just didn't throw anything back. And looking back on that fight, and looking back on his last loss to Michael Morales, he's coming off that knockout loss. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be able to stop that forward grappling pressure, keep it on the feet, and hurt him. Joaquin Buckley hits very, very hard for a welterweight. I think that Joaquin Buckley is one of the more underrated welterweights. He is coming off that loss to Usman. But before that, he was on an amazing run. Both these dudes are in a similar position. We're on a big run, kind of got halted in their position. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be the one to bounce back from this situation. I think he's going to put hands on our boy Sean Brady, maybe even finish him. There might be a possible world where our boy Sean Brady goes out there and holds Joaquin Buckley down for 15 minutes, but I don't see that happen. I see Joaquin Buckley being a little bit stronger, being able to get back up if he is taken down and landing big shots on Sean Brady, big old power shots. Sean Brady, his striking is what I think is going to be his weakness in this fight. Doesn't have terrible striking, but that Michael Morales fight, Michael Morales is a little bit different because he's a lot bigger, he hits a lot harder, but I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be able to land on him. I think he's going to be able to land. I think he's going to be able to hurt Sean Brady. I'm taking Joaquin Buckley by unanimous decision. I'm not taking it by knockout, but I think he's going to be able to stop the takedowns, keep this fight on the feet, and hurt Sean Brady. Sean Brady does have a decent chin, and I don't see Joaquin Buckley putting him away. I see maybe Sean Brady winning a round or two. Not or two, just a round. I see him maybe winning a round, maybe the first or second. That's what I was trying to say. But besides that, I think Joaquin Buckley is going to win at least 2, and get the unanimous decision. But yeah, I'm taking Joaquin Buckley by 29-28 decision. Okay, guys, coming on to our co-main events, or my bad, the feature fights. Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. And this fight is one of the more tricky ones. One of the more tricky ones on the card. Because, yes, Waldo Cortes Acosta is, he's this new breed of heavyweight, 17-2. Waldo is riding a 3-fight knockout streak. He just knocked out Derek Lewis, knocked out Shamil Gaziev. Before that, he had that knockout against Antita Lee where he got eye poked and then came back. That was an amazing finish. So, yeah, he's hot, man. He's hot. And I want to pick Waldo Cortes Acosta because, Alexander Volkov on paper isn't as hot. But, guys, technically speaking, Alexander Volkov should be on a 6-fight winning streak. He should be on a 6-fight win streak. That fight against Strickland, he got absolutely robbed. Absolutely robbed. Dana White told him, hey, don't worry about it, kid. Don't worry about it, kid. We'll get you back for that one, kid. Don't worry about it. Did nothing to get him back for it. Matched him up with Jailton Almeida, which, come on, what are we doing? But he ended up winning that fight. So technically should be on a 6-fight win streak. Should have fought for the title already against our boy Tom Aspinall in the rematch. But that's besides the point. It's besides the point. The main thing I'm trying to say is Alexander Volkov is 39-11. This dude is very, very elite. He's been fighting the toughest heavyweights his entire career. Before coming into the UFC, he had that kickboxing career. And this dude, man, 6'7", has an insane reach, 80 inches of reach, insane leg reach, great kicks up the middle, great boxing combos. This dude's good, man. Alexander Volkov is good. With all that being said, I'm taking Waldo Cortes Acosta. I think Waldo Cortes Acosta is going to win this fight. I think he's going to be faster. I think he's going to be able to get inside and land the big power bombs on Alexander Volkov. The big weakness of Alexander Volkov is his chin. Not recently, not since that last loss that he's had. He's shown that he can get caught. He's shown he's got very, very good striking defense since then. He's improved since then. But I think Waldo Cortes Acosta is going to be faster. He's going to be faster. He's going to be able to land those combos that he's looking for. And I think the power and the speed is going to be the big difference in this fight. Now, Alexander Volkov does have power of his own. And I could see him winning this fight by keeping his distance, keeping a range on Waldo Cortes Acosta, kind of like what he did to Sergey Pavlovich, where he just tagged him up from a distance for 3 rounds and butchered him. But I think the difference between Cortes Acosta and Pavlovich is the speed. I know that Pavlovich does have a win over Waldo Cortes Acosta, but I think, Waldo Cortes Acosta is at a different place now. He's at a different place in his career. I think he's going to get the win over Alexander Volkov. Either way, though, I'm excited for this fight. I think the winner of this fight is going to be fighting for the title next. And, yeah, this is a tough one to pick. This one's a tough one to pick because I definitely could see Alexander Volkov winning a decision. If Waldo Cortes Acosta is not able to land on him, which, people have struggled against Alexander Volkov. He's a tricky guy, man. 6'7", and that's the thing. He's tall, but he knows how to use his reach. He's not tall and awkward. He's tall and set in his height. He knows how to use his reach. He knows how to get inside and find those boxing combos. He knows how to use his long kicks to keep you at a distance. And yeah, 39-11, guys, that record, you might say, 11 losses, but 11 losses to the most elite heavyweights in the UFC. I'm nervous. Taking Waldo Cortes Acosta. I am picking him, though, by round 1 knockout. I think this is going to be a 1-round scrap. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Coming on to our co-main event, another very, very tricky fight to pick. Originally, when I went into this bout, I had Tatsuro Taira. My bad. Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. Let me introduce the fight first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, I'm just so excited. 328, guys. Last card UFC perked was amazing. And 328, guys, this is what I live for. I love seeing this. I love seeing 2 back-to-back great cards. And Tatsuro Taira versus Joshua Van, I'm hyped. It was supposed to be on UFC 327 and ended up getting rescheduled to 328. And honestly, when it got rescheduled, my heart kind of swifted to Tatsuro Taira. I thought that Joshua Van might be going through some stuff. He might be experiencing some injuries, might need a little bit of a longer recovery to get back into the fight. But, now that the fight's getting closer, now that it's fight week, I'm kind of switching back to Joshua Van. And this fight's going to be close. I do think that Tatsuro Taira's got that very, very elite grappling background. You know that, he has that one finish where he got on the dude's back and then made him pull his ACL. I can't remember the dude's name, against Alex Perez. That was crazy. But yeah, Tatsuro Taira is looking to get on you. He's looking to use his grappling to get on you. And I do think that he'll take Joshua down in this fight. I do think he'll take Joshua Van down in this fight. That is going to happen. And when that happens, that'll really determine how this fight's going to go. If Joshua Van's able to get back up, if he's able to stop the submission attempts. Originally, the outcome I saw happening was Tatsuro Taira getting a first-round sub. And even not a first-round sub, just using his grappling to dominate. Because Joshua Van, he is 16-2. That last loss, he got knocked out by our boy Charles Johnson. But he hasn't really been tested in the grappling. And Tatsuro Taira is on another level with his jiu-jitsu. He is very, very, very elite. But as fight week approaches, I think Joshua Van is going to get done. I think that Joshua Van's going to get done. Even if he gets taken down, I think that he'll stay calm, not get subbed. Maybe he'll get hit with some ground and pound. But I think he'll be able to work his way back to his feet and land on the feet. That's why I'm taking Joshua Van. On the feet, I see it being a big difference. Joshua Van is one of the top 2 strikers in flyweight. It's between him and Pantoja. It sucks we didn't get to see that fight. But I think that Joshua Van is going to be able to hurt our boy Tatsuro Taira, land big shots on him on the feet. Tatsuro Taira's fight against Brandon Royval, he's shown that, man, he can get tagged, man. He can get hit on the feet, He did show good striking defense in that fight, but Brandon Royval showed the game plan to win it, I think if Joshua Van is able to get up from the grappling, get up from the takedowns, and keep this fight on the feet, it's going to be a nightmare for our boy Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira is decent on the feet. He's not terrible, but I'm taking Joshua Van. I think that the run he's on right now, the momentum that he has, winning the belt, he is. This is a young championship fight, man. 2 young guys going in there. But yeah, I think Joshua Van's going to be powerful on the feet. Powerful, clean, land good shots. A big reason why I'm kind of worried, a lot of the times when a champ loses his belt and, there should be a rematch. Like, let me think of an example. I mean, there shouldn't have been a rematch, but Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey is what I'm thinking of, when they were just scheduled a rematch and the champ takes a fight in between that time. Like, Holly Holm took Miesha Tate, and now Joshua Van's taking Tatsuro Taira. They usually end up losing. And, not trying to do any foreshadowing. Maybe Tatsuro Taira wins by the rear naked choke. I don't know. But I'm just saying, a lot of the times when, like, Joshua Van should obviously fight Pantoja as soon as he gets back. That's a rematch that needs to happen. But a lot of the times when that rematch needs to happen, the champ ends up losing. And I think that Tatsuro Taira might cash in on that curse, maybe, but I can't put a lot of faith on that. I literally just made that up in my head. That might have only happened a couple times. But yeah, I'm taking Joshua Van by unanimous decision. I think that he'll be able to pick apart Tatsuro Taira on the feet. We haven't seen our boy Joshua Van go the full 5 yet, full championship 5. I don't think he'll struggle. Tatsuro Taira, I'm worried for the grappling. I'm worried for the submission game. This dude's elite, man. This dude's probably top 3 grapplers in the flyweight division. And Joshua Van, we'll see if he's able to stop it. We'll see if he's able to stop the submissions. If he is, I think it's going to be a easy win for him. Not easy, but I think it's going to be a clear, unanimous win for our boy Joshua Van. I'm taking Joshua Van by unanimous decision. He might lose a round or 2 from the takedowns. But I think that for a majority of this fight, Joshua Van will be able to keep it on the feet, keep Tatsuro Taira at his range with his boxing. Tatsuro Taira is the longer fighter, does have the longer range, but man, Joshua Van is just showed in his fight against Brandon Royval. He knows how to get inside, man. He knows how to land. He's got some of the best boxing in the flyweight division, not only in the flyweight division, but in the UFC. This dude, Joshua Van's good. And I see him retaining the belt. I see him winning, his first title defense. We'll see though. This is a very, very close fight. The grappler versus the striker. We'll see. Coming on to our main event. The moment we've all been waiting for. The main event. KHAMZAT CHIMAEV versus Sean Strickland. I'm hyped. I am so hyped. The build up to this is going to be insane. It already has been insane. Sean Strickland's saying he's going to shoot KHAMZAT CHIMAEV if he tries to jump him. KHAMZAT CHIMAEV's walking around with, his huge entourage. I'm sure Arman Tsarukyan's with him. I'm sure he's got, all of his team with him, all of his fighter friends. Susurkaev's probably with him. But yeah, KHAMZAT CHIMAEV versus Sean Strickland, the blood. Bad blood is been boiling this whole time. And who do I think is going to win this fight? I'm taking KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. Once the cage door closes, I think KHAMZAT CHIMAEV's going to win this fight, Now, KHAMZAT's coming in there 15-0. Sean Strickland's 30-7. Sean's coming off of that Anthony Hernandez win. An amazing win. Just a great, great win. I really knew in that matchup, though, going in there, that was a bad matchup for our boy. I knew he wasn't going to be able to get the takedowns. And, great win for our boy Sean Strickland. But KHAMZAT CHIMAEV, I think, is going to be able to get the takedowns. I think he is going to be able to get the takedowns. Our boy Dricus du Plessis was able to get takedowns on our boy Sean Strickland. And I think KHAMZAT CHIMAEV, people bring up the Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman fight about how Gilbert was able to stop the takedowns and keep the fight on the feet. And a big reason why is because there was a lot of bad blood before that, and KHAMZAT wanted to strike with him, to kind of brawl with him. I don't think that's the case. I think that a big reason why KHAMZAT didn't grapple more in that fight, he did shoot in the first minute, and he did take Gilbert down in the first minute of that fight. But the jiu-jitsu of Gilbert Burns was the real big factor in that fight, and that's the reason why he was able to keep KHAMZAT CHIMAEV off of him when it did hit the mat. And with Kamaru Usman's defensive wrestling is probably the best at I was gonna say welterweight, but yeah, at welterweight. That he did take this fight at middleweight at short notice. But Kamaru Usman's defensive wrestling, offensive wrestling, is next to none in the UFC. And even on short notice, I knew that KHAMZAT was gonna have some problems with the wrestling of Kamaru Usman. Now, Sean Strickland doesn't have terrible wrestling of his own. But I don't think the wrestling of Sean Strickland is anywhere to compete with KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. And he doesn't have the jiu-jitsu to threaten any submissions on the ground. I think KHAMZAT's going to be able to get takedowns, hold Sean on the ground. Now, Sean might be able to work his way back to his feet. But guys, KHAMZAT's just going to drag him right back down again. Ground and pound. Look for submissions. Maybe even find a early submission. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope he doesn't find the quick, easy, submission. But I know he's going to shoot for the takedown fast. And I know even if it is a crazy build-up and they're talking a lot of crap back and forth, they want to brawl in the cage, KHAMZAT CHIMAEV's still going to shoot. He's still going to shoot. He's still going to take him down no matter how angry he is. You guys remember, I don't know if you guys remember, against Kevin Holland, KHAMZAT CHIMAEV wasn't that nice going into that fight. He wasn't that happy. They were talking shit before that fight, him and Kevin Holland, and he went in there and immediately shot, took him down, subbed him with ease. Now, I don't think it's going to be that easy to sub Sean Strickland. I think that Sean will have a little bit of success getting back to his feet. But I think that the grappling of KHAMZAT CHIMAEV is going to be a little too much. It's going to be a little too much, man. It's on another level. And Sean Strickland, man, is there a world where this dude can, maybe here's the way I see Sean Strickland winning this fight. First round, he gets taken down, works his way back to his feet. And then the only way he stays on his feet is if he stuffs a takedown. If he stuffs a takedown and stops the grappling of KHAMZAT. And the only way I see that happening is if KHAMZAT's maybe tired or it's later on in the fight. Yeah, KHAMZAT's, maybe a little gassed and Sean keeps it on the feet. And Sean does have the better cardio in this fight. The two big things that Sean has in this fight is cardio and pace. Cardio, pace, his pace on the feet is what's going to win him this fight if he's able to keep it on the feet and keep it at his pace. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to do that, man. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Sean Strickland, you know, I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of his fighting style. I'm not a big fan of him outside the cage. I like to see him fight though. I think he's good. I think he's good. You know, he's had some stinker performances, but I don't know. I don't think the American gets it done. I don't think that Sean gets it done. I think that he gets grappled. I think he gets held on the ground and maybe even, you know, submitted. But yeah, I don't think that Sean gets it done. If he does, it would be by dragging this fight to the later rounds, keeping it on the feet. You know, maybe he gets taken down in round 1 and round 2, but avoids the submission, and then later on in rounds 3, 4, and 5, starts to slowly put it on KHAMZAT CHIMAEV and work and, you know, build that pace and drown KHAMZAT, because, you know, KHAMZAT's shown that, man, he doesn't have the best cardio. But in that fight against Rodriguez Duplessis, KHAMZAT showed that he can also go 25 minutes of straight grappling. I know that there wasn't much action in that fight. It was majority of him laying on Rodriguez Duplessis, but I think that in this fight against Sean Strickland, he's going to have a lot of success with the grappling as well. I think that early on he's going to shoot. I think that he's going to look for early submissions. I think that it's going to be a defensive fight for our boy Sean for the first 2 rounds at least. And if he survives the first 2 rounds, maybe it starts picking up in his favor. But still, KHAMZAT only needs 3 rounds. And I think that he's going to win at least 3 easy. I think that he's going to be able to take him down and hold him there. And I don't know. I don't see any possibility where our boy Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's good, but guys, you guys are talking about Sean Strickland's grappling like it's comparable with Kamaru Usman, and it's not. Or Gilbert Burns. Like Gilbert Burns, I've watched that fight back with KHAMZAT and Gilbert Burns. I've watched the fight back with Kamaru and KHAMZAT. Did I say Kamaru and Gilbert Burns? Whatever. I've watched the fight back with KHAMZAT and Gilbert Burns. I've watched the fight back with KHAMZAT and Kamaru. And both of those fights, the reason why they're able to keep it on the feet is because of their grappling. You know, Gilbert Burns has very, very elite jiu-jitsu off of his back. He was threatening submissions. They were very, very subtle in that fight, but you could tell. And in Kamaru Usman, he's got the best defensive wrestling probably, you know, in the welterweight division. I was going to say of all time in the welterweight division, but yeah, I think that Sean Strickland's not on those guys' levels. I think that he's going to struggle in this fight. Let me know what you guys think, though. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you guys got KHAMZAT or Sean Strickland? Who you guys think is going to win this fight? I'm excited. I hope that it's not a boring stink fest like our KHAMZAT versus Rodriguez Duplessis. That one was terrible. I hope it's not like that. I hope it's a little bit more of a war. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting a war at the press conference. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the video down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.